Hello guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week number 16 of the 25-26 EFL Championship season. But as always, before we begin, let's see how I got on last time out. I actually got 3 scorelines bang on. I got Bristol City beating Watford 1-1 correct. I got Derby County beating Blackburn Rovers 2-1 correct. And I got Preston and Millwall drawing 1-1 correct, and I got 4 more outcomes correct, so that is a season total, a season highest 13 points, taking my season total up to 106 and into the triple digits. And here is how the table looks after 15 matches, and without further ado, let's predict this week's matches. And we start with a really tricky one to predict. It is Preston against Blackburn. And this is tricky. It is at Deepdale. This is tricky because Preston are a side that are pushing for playoffs this season, and Blackburn are scrapping relegation, kind of. I think they will survive. I think they will be okay this season. It's tricky because I don't think either of these sides are particularly very high scoring this season, but they do both like to get the result over the line, so I think I'm going to sit on the fence here with a 1-1 draw on this one. I think both teams are going to be fairly happy with a point in their battle against what they're fighting for, so 1-1. Then we move over to the 12:30 kickoffs on Saturday. It's Bristol City against Swansea City. And these are two sides that have kind of tailed off in form, especially Swansea in recent times. Swansea had a very good start to the season, flying, and then, started to tail off recently. Bristol City, they can get results over the line, but not as frequently as I have predicted. But I just look at the Robins here and I think they've got enough to beat the Swans, especially at home. I think Gerhard Struber's boys are going to want to get back to winning ways after I believe they lost before the international break. I'll have a look here. They drew 1-1 with Watford. I do think Bristol City will have enough in the tank to win and get a clean sheet here. I'm going for Bristol City to win 2-0. I think if they're going to push up the table and back into the playoffs, they need to start winning a few more games, so 1-1 on this one. Next up, we've got Charlton against Southampton. And I'm worried about this. I'm really worried about this game. Because Charlton, it is a Nathan Jones derby, but Nathan Jones has done bits with Charlton this season. He's got them in and around the playoff mix. And Southampton, I think we're sticking with our interim manager for this match. I've heard rumours about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming in to take over, but that won't be for this match. I just worry because I know us, we concede quite a few, and Charlton, on the other hand, are a side that are very cagey. They don't tend to concede many goals this season, or indeed last in League One. But I think Southampton are starting to turn a corner here. But against a Charlton side who are very tricky to score against, I'm going to sit on the fence with a 1-1 draw on this one. I think Southampton might get a draw, a point, but it won't be enough for either side really to push up, so 1-1. Next up, we've got Coventry against West Brom. And, this may well be the easiest game to predict so far this week, because Coventry are on fire under Frank Lampard. Of course, they did lose, I think, 2 league games ago against Wrexham, but that's the only game they've lost this season. And West Brom, they've been on a losing streak recently. They can't even score goals at the minute. things are looking pretty bleak for them. I do fancy Coventry here, and fairly comfortably. I do want to see West Brom start to push up towards the playoffs again. I don't know when that will happen. I think it might at some point this season. But for this one, I'm going to sit on the fence with... not sit on the fence. I'm going Coventry 2-0. I think Frank Lampard's men are going to pick up the 3 points once again and get that one win closer to promotion. So 2-0 Cov. Next up, we've got Birmingham against Norwich. And just after the international break started, Norwich did sack Liam Manning. It was a long time coming. And they're bringing in a new manager. Can't quite remember who that is. But they're against a Birmingham side who have started to gel. They're starting to click into gear now. They score loads of goals. And I feel like, especially with this match being at St Andrews, I do fancy Birmingham to win here. What I will say is I do tend to, this season at least, like Norwich more on the road than at home. But Birmingham have looked pretty darn strong recently. So I'm going Birmingham to win this fairly comfortably. I'll give Norwich a goal, but Birmingham have been scoring left, right and centre recently. So I'm going for the Blues to win 3-1. I think Birmingham will get the win and move the chains closer to the playoffs. So 3-1 Birmingham. Next up, we move on to Ipswich Town against Wrexham. And what a big game this is. Two sides that are on good form at the minute. Two fairly goal-happy sides, actually. I think Wrexham's only defeat this season has actually come on Gameweek 1 against Southampton. But I think Ipswich might be just a bit too tricky a customer for Wrexham. Well, for Wrexham, I mean, Wrexham are visiting. I just think Ipswich at home have enough quality in the tank to get the win here. I wouldn't rule Wrexham out of getting something in this match, but I think Kieran McKenna needs to start winning to get into the playoffs. If they win this, there's a strong possibility they'll end the week in the playoff places. And I'm going for Ipswich to do it, but I'm going to go for a few goals here. I'm going Ipswich to win 3-2. I think Wrexham might score a couple, but Ipswich will ultimately get the 3 goals and the 3 points. 3-2 Ipswich. Next up, we've got Portsmouth against Millwall. And these are two sides that they don't tend to score many goals this season, but Millwall have been great defensively this season. They're in and around the playoffs at the minute. Portsmouth are deep in trouble. They're currently 20th in the table. I do fear for them. If their form continues, they might go down to League One again. It's tricky because I usually like Portsmouth at home, but they haven't seemed to be doing great anywhere this season, really. Millwall have been alright, been getting results over the line. I'm going to sit on the fence with another 1-1 draw on this one. I think I've got faith for Portsmouth to get something at home here. But what I will say is if I had to pick a winner, I would pick Millwall based on the form books. But I know Millwall are fairly draw happy at times, so I'm going for another 1-1 draw on this one. Next up, we've got QPR against Hull. And QPR are on one of their losing streaks at the minute. Well, not losing, but they're not on the greatest run of form at the minute. Hull, on the other hand, are just outside the playoffs, I think. Or are they in the playoffs now? And they've been fantastic this season. It's tricky, though, against QPR. You never know when they'll show up again. But I do fancy Hull, based on the form. But I don't see many goals. Hull are actually the second highest scorers in the division, only behind Coventry, who are top. But QPR, this just strikes me as a game with not many goals. I'm going to back the away side here. I'm going to back Hull for a 1-0 victory. I think the Tigers will narrowly get the 3 points over the line. Maybe in the final quarter of the match. But 1-0 Hull. Next up, we've got Derby against Watford. And Derby are currently in the midst of a 5-game winning streak. They are flying right now. Watford are a tricky one. I thought they were in good form, but they're not on the best of form recently. They did get that 1-1 draw against Bristol City before the international break, which I do really like. That's a good result for them. It's tricky. If I had to pick a winner here, I would pick Derby and continue their winning form. But I just can't look past Watford. On their day, they can get results over the line. This may be foolish, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw on this one as well. I do prefer Derby, I think, but I wouldn't rule out, because you never know what Watford side will show up and when they'll get a result. So 1-1. Next up, we've got Oxford United against Middlesbrough. And the big news for Middlesbrough over the international break is Rob Edwards departing ship to Wolves in the Premier League. I don't know if they've already appointed a manager, but I just look at Oxford here and I just think, yeah, they've got a good manager, but I haven't seen too many overly impressive results this season. And Middlesbrough do sit second in the league this season. They're flying right now, but their form has been a bit iffy recently. I know Rob Edwards was good for them, but I do think Middlesbrough still have enough in the tank to win this match. It depends if they'll have a new manager bounce or a no manager bounce or something. I'm going for Borough to win fairly comfortably here. 3-1. Again, it might be foolish to predict, but I do just see Middlesbrough tearing Oxford apart here, so 3-1 Borough. Next up, we've got Leicester City against Stoke City at the King Power. This is another tricky one because Stoke are third in the table currently. They did lose the last match to Coventry 1-0, I think. It's a tricky one to predict because Stoke are in good form, but Leicester, they like draws, and Leicester on their day can get results over the line, and it is at the King Power Stadium, so I think I might give Leicester something. They've still got the quality, albeit the points deduction, which still hasn't come yet. I'm a bit surprised by that, but I do think Leicester and Stoke could draw here. I'm going to sit on the fence with a Desmond this time, a 2-2 draw. I think both sides have enough quality to score a couple goals, but even I'm not sure on that. But 2-2. And then here we go, the final game is the big game of the week. It's the Steel City Derby. It's Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United. And this is a huge match. It's a huge match down the bottom of the table, actually. Both sides are in the relegation zone. It's at Hillsborough. I do kind of like Sheffield Wednesday for something here, but I just don't know how Chris Wilder's Sheffield United side will perform in this match. I think both sides are going to try and go out there and get the win. Of course they will. It's a derby. I think this derby tends to be quite low scoring historically. It is tricky. Part of me wants to say Sheffield Wednesday will go out. They've been saving their energy for this game and they'll go out and get the win. But I can't look past Sheffield United's quality. And when it clicks, it can click quite well and play pretty good football. I think I'm going to sit on the fence again with a 1-1 draw on this one. I think these Still, City derbies tend to be quite low-scoring affairs. So I do think it might end in a draw, 1-1. And there you have it, guys. All 12 matches for this weekend predicted. Make sure to let me know your predictions in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, we'll see how well my predictions from this video turn out next week. I'm going into a busy period, 45 days of non-stop, almost championship action. We're going into a triple header. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.